Hello, let's examine Chapter 6, Practice 4, where we will be examining two types of taxes, the pseudotax and the feudotax. Let's look at Philip Cartwright. He has earnings of $5,590 for first quarter earnings. He is going to be taxed. If we look amount subject to pseudo, we look here at the pseudotax and it says any monetary value 9,000 or less will be taxed at 3%. So we have to ask the question in our own mind, is 5,590 less than or equal to 9,000? And if so, then we'll take the 5,590 and multiply it times 3%. So let's have Excel decide that for us. We're going to use the if function. Click in cell C7, click the insert function, and we'll type if in the search for function and click go. And when if pops up, click if, and it says here, if checks whether a condition is met and returns a value, one value if it is true and a different value if it is false. We'll click OK. So the logical test is if the value in B7 is less than or equal to 9,000, which is in D4. Now that D4 is going to be absolute, so we have to click anywhere on the D4 and press the F4 key to insert our $sign. Now, if it is true, then we want it to return the value of B7. So it's saying if 5590 is less than or equal to 9,000, then return the 5590 in C7. Otherwise, we want it to return the 9,000, which is going to be absolute. Let me move that into your view. I'm sorry. Press the F4 key. So if 5590 is less than or equal to 9,000, that's what we have in D4, then return the 5590, okay, in this cell here, C7. Otherwise, return 9,000, okay, and we'll click OK. Now, let's take the fill handle and drag that down. So this was less than or equal to 9,000. We copied it over. This was less than or equal to 9,000. We copied it over. This was 10,000, but he's only going to be taxed on the first 9,000. So it was false, so it picked up the 9,000. Now let's calculate the pseudotax. So we're going to start with the equal sign, and we're going to say this is the amount subject to pseudotax. So we click on C7, and now we're going to multiply it times 3%, whoops, which is in cell B4. Now B4 is a constant, so we're going to click on the B4, press the F4 key, and press enter. Once again, the reason we're clicking, making the reference absolute is that if tomorrow I come in and change this to 4%, rather than going back and changing all of these cells here, when we put 4% here, these will automatically recalculate. Let's grab the fill handle and drag down. Now let's look at column E, the amount subject to pseudotax. Well, pseudotax says the first 7,000 will be taxed at 0.8%. So we need to ask the question, is the value in first quarter gross earnings less than or equal to 7,000? So we'll use the if statement. So click the insert function. If is already shown because we just used it, so we'll click on it, click OK, and we want to know if the value in B7 is less than or equal to a 7,000 right here. So I'm just going to click on the 7,000. That 7,000 is a constant, so I need to click on D5, press the F4 key. If it's true, then we're going to return what's ever stored in B7. Otherwise, they're going to be taxed at $7,000, which is stored in D5, and that's a constant. So I'll click anywhere on the D5, press the F4 key, and press enter. Okay. So it already determined that in B7 we have 5590, and 5590 is less than the value stored in D5, and so it determined that it was true. Okay, and is going to put the value here. All right, and so we can see here, we click OK. Now let's grab the fill handle and drag that down. Now to calculate the tax due. So we're going to go equals, take the amount subject to the tax, which is in E7, and we're going to multiply it times the tax rate stored in B5. Now let's make B5 absolute by going to the formula bar, pressing the F4 key, and enter. Then let's go back up to F7, grab the fill handle, and drag down. Now let's see how formatting is supposed to appear. It says here we're going to format the cells in columns B, C, and E for currency 0 decimal places and set the currency symbol to $1. So I'm going to drag over the B, hold down the control key and maintain pressure. As you drag over the C, still maintain pressure on the control key, and we're dragging over, I believe I said E. Let me just double check. Yes, E. Make sure you have the big white plus sign as you're dragging. Lift up on the control key, and currency 0 decimal places, and use the $sign. Currency 0 decimal places, and use the $sign, and then OK. Columns D and F will be currency with 2 decimal places and the $sign. So with my cursor in the middle of column D7, so I have the big white plus sign, hold down the control key, maintain pressure. As you drag to row 10, I don't feel like I got it. Keep your control key pressed as you drag over column F. And we want currency, so we come up here, currency has the default of the $sign in 2 decimal places. That's what I thought. I didn't think I got that column. Let me go back and get that again. Here we want this total in B11, and so I just want to make sure it's accurate. So I'm going to click the auto sum button, and I'm going to drag over rows 7 through 10 and press enter. Now I'll grab the fill handle of B11 and drag horizontally to column F. Now let's see how that's supposed to be. Well, we want 2 decimal places here in D and F. So I'm going to click right here on D10. Okay, and I'm just going to drag this, click this format, and click right here. And then I'm going to come up here on F, click the format button, and just click right here. And Now it's done. That's all there is to it.